What's up, guys? It is Tuesday the 9th, and the market, doing its thing, holding into a channel. We'll get into that into a minute, but again, bring up the background. Those of us who are working together right now, I encourage you, if you feel inclined, when we close, go to the website, aaron.chapman.com, scroll down to where you see this same picture, if you will, and click on the donate button. $50. $50 we're looking for. We're approaching 2,000 so far this month. It's the 9th of the month. That's awesome. I really appreciate people who have taken this on. I felt also strongly about this. It's going to be an ongoing campaign. I'm going to keep this going and keep this coming to say, because I'm not demanding people just keep going to their pockets. I want to be able to make it attributed to something. Us closing a transaction for you, getting you closer to your real estate investment goals. That part of that goal is to help the goal of getting somebody out of slavery. So that's the goal that we have. So I'm going to continue to harp on it. You're going to see this a lot, and it's going to be nonstop. I'll probably go to my grave talking about this particular subject, because there's no way in hell Aaron Chapman is going to solve it. I can bitch and scream and raise all kinds of hell about it, but we're going to make tiny dents in it. But those tiny dents are going to be one person at a time. Can you imagine the dent of what that's going to be when somebody is taken out of those type of extreme circumstances? That to me is worth it. If that's what all of it is, it's one person is saved as a result of our efforts, then in fact, I believe that we probably have accomplished that already with what we were able to invest or to contribute as a result of last month, and what we're starting to contribute now. By the end of this month, I'm praying we're going to be at least 2 people. The equivalent to the capital needed to be able to bring 2 people out of slavery, and it will continue ongoing. So thank you for the support. Thank you for continuing to work with us. Thank you for the trust. So let's talk about the market real quick before we get into the real meat of what we're going to discuss today. So mortgage-backed securities, as you can see, they are range-bound. They're holding this pattern. Even though we had the stock market take its beating yesterday and had some wild swings, it stayed within the range. The Fed is the one who's feeding this. And when the Federal Reserve is the ones putting the majority of the capital into it, they're going to adjust accordingly, as far as I can see. This is what I'm looking at. So being the fact that that's the case, we're staying well within the range. I mean, you see, we're just barely below support right here. I think we're going to come back above support, and by the end of the day, just the technical signals from what I'm seeing here, technically we're going to hold in that point. And if anything, it looks like one of our strong points here is this particular line. Our 30-day moving average itself seems to also be a pretty strong support. So not only do you have our regular support lines, just our technical support, you've got the 30-day moving average has acted like support quite a bit. If you look at that, it's acted like resistance here, but played the support role quite a bit for the last little while. So we've got those 2 things right there working for us. Continue to keep the rates where they are. You have the technical buying and selling. Then you also have the Federal Reserve putting in their capital into the mortgage-backed securities and what's going on there. So today we're going to talk about appraisals. We've talked about in the past, but let's talk a little bit more about what we're experiencing right now. Unprecedented amount of people having a demand on loans. Period. Refis, purchases, unprecedented. We've never seen it to this extent, far beyond the capacity of our industry. And we're doing our dangest to keep up with that. But what's happening also is when you had the crash, you had what's happening with the appraisal side of the world. If anybody, you might want to take a little bit of time, find out what it takes to become an appraiser. For a person to become an appraiser, you have to have a certain amount of background, as far as education background, as I understand. Then you have to do an internship with another licensed appraiser, somebody who's had the experience to give you an internship for 2 years. 2 years as an intern before you're able to go out there and start doing your business. Now, some people say, well, who wouldn't want to have an intern helping them? Appraisers don't want to have an intern helping them. People I've talked to in the appraisal world said, hey, I want to get my son going, and they say, well, I just don't have time. Well, it's just not something I want to do. Appraisers are dying off. I think the average appraiser's age is probably in the mid-50s, late 50s, something to that effect, something that I heard. I haven't verified. So go take a look. But they're older people in that profession, and they're thinning out. The demand is huge. It's taking twice as long, if not 3 times as long, and costing twice as much in some situations. I had some appraisals come back where it's usually $600, $550, $505 for an appraisal on an investment property, which is already kind of high. I had one of $1,900, and they're not going to get to it till October. This happened last week. That's over a month. And I'm getting plenty of people telling me, well, other lenders are getting it done. I don't know how, because those same other lenders are calling me. They're asking me how I'm getting it done faster, because guess what? They're getting the same bullshit from somebody saying that Aaron Chapman's getting it done. We are getting it done. But unfortunately, we can only get it done at the speed of other people. I've got 3 AMCs. I'm busting their balls to see what we can make happen. I've got my appraisal management department calling around, seeing to get somebody move it faster. It's not happening. I had a guy one time, a couple of weeks ago, this realtor, tell me how it's getting done by somebody else faster. And I said, well, give me the list of your names. Tell me who your appraisers are. Tell me who's the best in your area. I contacted my appraisal management department. Said, listen, I need you to go after these 3 guys right here. Drop this guy's name because he claimed he'll get it done. He swore it would happen. Get it off to him. 48 hours later, I'm getting texts like crazy from this realtor. I want to know what's what. Well, I got word back. First appraiser, out of town. Second appraiser, not even going to touch it. Third appraiser said he'd take it, went out and looked at the property, said, nope, not taking that one. It was that unique of a scenario. Guys, every scenario is different. Just like you as investors are different. Things are different. We need to be early on your pre-calls. If you're not getting a pre-call letter before you're making offers, just know you're slowing down the deal. If we have to order an appraisal and it's unique property at all, it's going to slow down the deal. If we're ordering an appraisal at all, it's going to slow down the deal right now. It's the nature of the business we're in. So patience is what's going to be a necessity. Great negotiation skills with the seller, making sure the seller understands the environment we're in. It's amazing how many sellers are selling properties right now, but for some reason don't know what environment we're living in. They have no clue that I don't think that COVID for some reason is happening in their world. We're not dealing with the economy being what it is. We're not dealing with the overwhelming demand on the mortgage industry and just the lending industry as a whole, which translates to overwhelming demand in the title industry, overwhelming demand in the insurance industry, overwhelming demand in the appraisal industry, all the ancillary sides. It's not just one person. Can't just call the lender up and say, hey, say you suck, because we don't get to pick the appraisers. We don't get to pick the title companies. We don't get to pick your inspectors. We don't get to pick the insurance companies. We have to rely on them to do their part, and everybody's telling us to pound sand right now. Doing our best. I have hired. I'm training people, getting people to take the capacity. We're not going to lay down on this, but also we got to know that there's only so much control over certain things that we have, especially the appraisal side. I'm not even supposed to know who the appraiser is until such time that I have the appraisal on hand. As a licensed loan originator, I'm supposed to be that far removed from it, and I am. I'm not getting a hold of these guys. I don't talk to these guys. I don't get involved with these guys. I have to rely on third parties to get a hold of them. It's not just third parties. It's a third party in my company to contact a third party outside of my company to contact the appraiser. So there is definitely a chain that has to occur, and some things can happen in that communication chain because it's not immediate. You know how it is. You contact somebody, they get to it later on in their day. That person gets to it later on to their day, and that appraiser may not even pick up the message for a couple of days. And then I'm getting a lot of appraisers coming back saying, well, asking questions about the purchase price. Well, I have information that's supposed to be this price instead of the price that we gave them. They have a contract right there. I think it's a stall tactic. They're just busy right now. They're coming back with dumb questions about things because they're so busy. They're trying to stall, but they're still trying to keep their pipeline fed. So a lot of things going out there we don't have control over. I appreciate you guys' trust. I appreciate you guys' participating in this and the patience that we have in this and the communication. I'm trying to set the expectation. We're not going to throw in the towel. We're not going to not do your deal, but you need to know what we're up against. And I can't solve all the stuff. No matter how many times you text me, how many times you call, I can't solve it. I'll do my best. We always are. We're pulling every string we've got. But at the same time, eventually I'm going to unravel that sweater if I keep pulling and pulling and pulling on something that's not going to change. But we're here to help. Don't take this as a criticism. Just take this as information that we are all working on this together. Thank you.